All right, folks. I trust you all are well. I read you the title of the last 7 daily inspiration messages. And if you like a title or have read through one, we can talk about it. Okay, so here are the last 7 daily inspirational messages and the titles. July 29th, our gift to each other is each other. July 30th, judgment is not possible without the past. July 31st, living fully within the present moment. August 1st, the similarity between judgments and dreams. August 2nd, listening is an act of kindness and growth. August 3rd, making peace and joy the goals for your interaction. And August 4th, taking back control from the ego's programming. So,
well, I like the one about judgment is not possible without the past, but I'm open to any other ones too.
All right. Let's give that one a shot. Okay. Here we go. It's 2 paragraphs. July 30th. Judgment is not possible without the past. Paragraph 1. God is love and all. Thus, all that can truly exist within the eternal now or present moment is love. The past is gone, and the future is just a figment of the ego's imagination. The present moment is your true home. If you're not in the now, you will feel lost, confused, alone, and or afraid. It is when you feel lost, confused, alone, and afraid that you judge your brothers. The ego wants you to think and feel this way because if you do, you will think that there's no way you could be one with or worthy of a perfect God. If you feel unworthy of God, then you will look to the ego for support in defending you against a chaotic world. But being God's creation, your loving truth is forever changeless and eternal. Thus, you can never be unworthy of your Creator. Today, practice letting go of the ego's false concepts, past programs, and future fantasies, and return to the now, where the love, peace, joy, mercy, and grace of God forever reside. Paragraph 2. Today, let us practice understanding when we are aligned with the present moment and when we are extending the ego's past programs into the now. When we align with the now, we look at this world through forgiving eyes, with divine love, peace, joy, mercy, and grace. When we do this, we align with the mind of God. In doing so, we see judgment we see a world without judgment, one where we live peacefully and contently with everyone. When we drag the past onto the now, we see the world through the ego's judgment-centric, fear-based mindset. When in this mindset, judgment, fear, chaos, confusion, disillusionment, and or despair seem to rule over us. In these states of uncertainty, we fail to see what is really going on. For it is the ego, not the truth in us, who is in control of our thinking and thus of our life. Today, by being present and consciously choosing forgiveness or non-judgment over judgment, we can leave the past behind and return to the now at one with the mind of God, with our true home here on earth. And that is the July 30th daily inspiration. Judgment is not possible without the past. And so the basics of that daily inspiration is that anytime your thoughts are aligned with love, you're in the present moment. Anytime your thoughts are aligned with judgment, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, you're aligned with the past, with the ego's programming. And so you're not where you belong in the present moment or the holy instant. If you're anxious or worried or doubtful or fearful, you're aligned with the future. And thus you're not in the now. And so the whole goal today is to start practicing being in the now, uh, expressing love in each moment and interaction. And that's how you align with the present moment. Letting the past go, letting your judgments, your anger, your resentment, your fear, your guilt, your shame go, and letting the future go, letting your anxiousness and worry and fear go, and coming back to the now. It's always a practice of going from the judgment from the past to the now, and from the future to the now. Always in the now. That's a practice of today. And so, in every moment, keep asking yourself, okay, what expression of love can I be offering right now in this moment? And the moment kind of like will show you what a reflection of love you're supposed to be offering. And so let's say if you're in a situation where people are judging themselves or others, okay? What does that mean? That means you're stuck in the past with the past programming. Okay, so what's your job in that moment? You're supposed to bring yourself back from judgment and self-judgment to forgiveness, compassion, and understanding, which are all reflections of love. And that's your job in that moment, is to be the loving reflection of forgiveness, of compassion, of understanding, and thus bringing your brothers and sisters from being stuck in the past to being in the now. And then when you're in the now, you're going to feel fulfilled. This is where true fulfillment resides, in the now, because that's your true job on earth, is to be in the now, is to be a reflection of love in the now, and to let all that stuff, your past programming or your future fears, let them go, because they do not exist. The past is forever gone. The future is forever imagined. And so the only thing that ever exists is the now. And so that's our job in each and every moment. And that's basically the daily inspiration for July 30th. Judgment is not possible without the past. And hello, Wendy. I believe that's you. iPhone.
It is. Hi, James. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Wendy.
Okay, so any comments or questions in regards to that?
So when we're saying that when we're in the present moment is when we're feeling love, it means at that moment we are not feeling resentment, and resentments are only in the past. So the practice is to bring in love in every moment. How do we do that?
And the way you do that is to consciously first, okay, daily inspiration. Set your goal. What's my goal for today? Today, my goal is to let go of judgment and come back to the now, to love. And so before every interaction, before any event or activity, you remind yourself of your goal. My goal is to let go of all my judgments. That means my goal is to let go of the past. And so in this moment, no matter what my brother or sister does, says, or think, in this moment, my only reaction to them is going to be an expression of that love. And that's going to show me that I'm aligned with the holy instant, with the now. And so what you do is you go to every interaction proactively with your goal already set. My goal in this interaction is to offer only love. And if I'm expressing some kind of self-judgment in my mind or judgment of others, that simply means that my ego is in control of my mind. And if my ego, past programming is in control of my mind, then it's in control of my life. Okay? So you're not living your life. And that's why you feel unfulfilled and off balance and lacking peace, because you're just a zombie when you're acting through the ego's programming. And so your job is not to condemn yourself for that, because the ego loves that. The ego loves you to judge, and then the ego loves you to judge yourself for judging yourself, for judging. Okay? So don't do that. Simply recognize, okay, I'm judging self or others. I'm somewhere in my mind where I do not belong. The ego is in control of my mind, therefore the ego is in control of my life. Let me now practice using this moment to take back control of my mind and therefore take back control of my life, of the way I'm seeing this world. By switching lenses, you go from the ego's judgmental lens, place it aside, and put in God's loving lens. Let go of the past, come back to the present. Let go of the past, come back into the present. Hello, Dennis. And we're reading through the Daily Inspiration of July 30th. Judgment is not possible without the past. And the first few minutes will be online tomorrow. Okay. Any questions or comments, Samir?
No, that makes sense. I guess I don't know why my camera is not being detected. It's I guess the idea is like I've noticed my baseline is judgment. And I've been becoming more aware that my baseline is judgment, and then and it's like it seems like this is real. This person is doing something. I'm having these conversations that with this person or in the future that this person said this or then do, and then it just it was just like some brief meditation that I was able to spot myself, but it is like my baseline, and without being conscious of it. Now I can be conscious of it. um, but love is a very high emotion. Like, okay, I can be conscious, give up the judgment on judging, but love is like, that's almost like a divine moment. That's being in love is like being connected to God. That's like a very high emotion.
Yes.
um,
The ego is going to have you think that love is a very high emotion in the sense that it's here and you're over here, you know. But in reality, love is who you are, and therefore the true emotion, the effortless accomplishment, is to answer with love. It's just that over and over again we've been programmed by the ego to judge self and others, and so it seems easy to judge because over and over and over again we've done that. The ego always answers first and loudest, right? So you have little neurons in your brain, and if you judge over and over again, they gel. They begin to gel. Ooh, this is judgment, judge, 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 and so those neurons gel, and it's easier for you to judge.
mhm,
But guess what? It's also you can also do that the same thing with love. Okay, so once you start to go a little bit higher, and you have a couple neurons here, which are
mhm,
love, and then you start answering with love, with compassion, with understanding, with forgiveness, with kindness, with charity. You start to gel those neurons, and then that starts to become the easy response, the natural response, the normal response. But you just have to deprogram yourself from your past, from the ego's judgments. And so the ego's judgments are easy for you right now because you just repeated them over decades,
mhm, mhm,
right? So
mhm,
what happens if you repeat love, love's expressions over decades? Wouldn't love become the easier response to your brothers or sisters?
yeah.
And so every time your brother or sister says something that triggers in you judgment, in your mind, say to yourself, or in your heart, say to yourself, you don't have to say this out loud, but you say, thank you very much for helping me, give me an opportunity to practice letting go of my judgments and responding to you instead with compassion and forgiveness and understanding. And so now gratitude starts to become your response to your brothers or sisters, no matter what they think, say, or do, especially if they trigger you, trigger
Mhm,
your past programming.
mhm,
And so, okay, you can only answer with love. That's your true response. And if they're calling out for love through the act of judgment, through triggering you, say to them, you don't have to say to them this, but you can think in your heart and your heart and your mind, thank you. This is a perfect opportunity for me to practice forgiveness, for me to practice compassion. And so I know that all you're doing
mhm,
It's helping me practice forgiveness and compassion. And so because I know that, my response to you now is gratitude, not judgment. Because I know what's really happening beneath the surface. Beneath the surface. Beneath the surface, every moment in reality is a gift from God to you, from your brothers and sisters to you. The gift is always here, right here in the now. Just that we bring this past programming onto the now and we block what's really going on. We block the gift of what's really happening. And so if you forgive the delusion and place the veil aside, you see the gift that is being offered to you in that moment. Maite and DB, we're going through the daily inspiration of July 30th, and the beginning of this video you can watch tomorrow if you wish on my YouTube channel. And the title of the daily inspiration is "Judgment is Not Possible Without the Past." And so what we're talking about right now is how to return to the present moment, to align your mind with love, which is the mind of God, and to offer only love in each and every moment. And when you do, you're fulfilling your function as the light of the world, and you feel fulfilled. That's where true fulfillment comes, in doing your job and your true job, not whatever your superficial job might be, which is perfectly lovely. It could be, you could be a financial officer or a doctor, a nurse, a police officer, whatever. That's your superficial job. Your real job is below the surface, is to be love in each and every moment and interaction. That's your true job. And when you're fulfilling your true job, then you truly feel fulfilled. And so you can be a police officer or a financial analyst or a doctor, but your real job in that job is to be love and to offer love in whichever ways you can in that moment. Comments or questions? Or is anybody finding themselves stuck in the past or fixed on the future instead of being in the moment, or stuck in judgment?
Well, I think that's such a profound message about how it's so common for us to just overlay the past into the present. Or be projecting into the future. I love how you put it about that it's a good sign that we're not in the present if we're judging or if we're in resentment. That's just like a trigger that we have to remember. Okay, I'm not present. Let me bring myself back into alignment with my divinity, with love. I think that's a great message. Thank you.
Yeah. So anytime you're judging yourself or others, condemning, resentful, angry, feeling guilty, shameful, don't punish yourself for that, okay? You're just stuck in the past. Just recognize you're stuck in the past. Don't punish yourself or don't punish others for that. Okay, my mind is stuck in the past. That means my ego's in control of my mind. Let me bring myself back to the present moment through the act of forgiveness, of compassion, of understanding. Bring yourself back. And so you don't punish yourself for being in the past, and you don't punish yourself for being in the future, anxious, worried, fearful. You don't punish yourself for that. You just recognize that you're somewhere that you do not belong. You don't belong being anxious. You belong here at peace. And you let go of the future by practicing trusting the divine design more. God, love, perfect love. Practice trusting the divine design, practice trusting your all-loving creator, and your fear and anxiousness and worry will begin to dissolve away. And then all you have is the present moment. And all you have is trust in the divine designer, in your sacred co-creation with God, and your result is peace. Peace is a reflection when you're in the now. Okay. You're not here, you're not in the future, you're back in the now where you belong. And it's where you belong that you're meant to share with your brothers and sisters. You're helping them see there's a way out from their fear and anxiousness and worry, a way out of their future thinking, future imagination, back to the now. or you can show them a way out of their judgments back into the now through the act of forgiveness. And so you don't punish yourself when you're somewhere in your mind and heart where you don't belong. Just recognize that you're somewhere you don't belong, and come back to the now. Come back to the now. And practice that as many times as the day will offer you. The day will offer you plenty of opportunities to practice.
So when you say recognize
James,
you are recognize you are stuck in the past, does that mean you're stuck in some bad experience you have in the past, or and we need to go and figure out what was in the past, or just who cares? It was something that's in the past that you're just bringing in today. That's that's as simple as it is, as
It,
opposed to what happened in the past.
yeah, it can be very simple in the sense that you're going to make it as difficult as your mind wants to make it. It's about the past. You can carry the past with you like a backpack, all you want, you know. And at first, even though it's heavy, you're going to be carrying it, and maybe a week, a month, a year, a decade, and then you're going to say, "Jesus, enough is enough." Let me set this past aside and let me experience the now. And so, it's okay if you want to go to a therapist and talk about your past and all that. That's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is you can let go of the past. The past is gone. It can hurt me not. The past is gone. It can affect me not. It doesn't even exist anymore. Only my mind. Only my mind can drag the past onto the now. And so only you can punish yourself because of your past. And so if you're thinking about your past, take personal responsibility for that. You are making a conscious or unconscious decision to carry the past onto the now. Here's the now. Here's the gift that God is giving you in every moment, the now, the present moment. The present moment for a reason, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
But if you cover it over with past, and you can do that, it's free will. You have free will. You're not going to see what's really going on, and you're going to be lost, and you're going to be here wondering, why do I feel lost? Why am I off balance? Because I'm not seeing the gift that is being presented to me by God in this moment.
Mhm, mhm.
So this is good news, because if it's you who's punishing yourself by dragging the past into the now, if it's only your mind that's done that, then your healing begins in your mind, not anywhere out there. Nobody else is responsible for your healing. You can forgive, let it go, and return to the now. I think Wendy had a question.
my question is, so if you're not at peace because let's say I'm having resentful or whatever feeling, so I can deal with that, forgive myself, forgive the other person or whatever. What if you're feeling okay, but somebody else is not happy with you? Like what is the, you just have a disagreement or whatever, and you kind of have to accept that there's no agreement there, but one party is very, very unhappy with that. So what is the correct way to, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like conflict resolution, but I'm talking about the spiritual path.
Yeah,
Somebody else.
like we always say, your job is the miracle. Okay, so your job is to simply be an expression of that love, of compassion, of understanding. The miracle extension, that's God's responsibility. So it's not your responsibility how other people feel. All you can do in the moment is be loving in some way, shape, or form towards whatever it is they're experiencing. But how they're viewing their experience, that's not your job. That's their job. And so in the moment, you align with your loving nature, and you offer whatever expression of love the moment seems to be requesting. That's it. That's your job. However they experience that, that's their thing. And their journey is perfect for them. They can carry all the judgment they want as long as they want. They'll get tired sooner or later. They'll get tired of carrying that judgment. But simply be that light. Be that light that shows that you can forgive when the world calls for condemnation. You can forgive.
Very helpful. Thank you, James. Saint James. Hit it right on the head again.
So Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Anybody else dealing with getting stuck in the past or future this week?
A part that says, but being God's creation, your loving truth is forever, changeless, and eternal. Thus, you could never be unworthy of your creator. Today, practice letting go, which is this part, I think, part of our homework, of the ego's false concepts, past programs, and future fantasies, and return to the now, where the love, peace, joy, mercy, and grace of God forever reside. I have experience going to some situation, and then it's like I lost my peace. I lost some amount of energy. What do you think in this situation, James, where we catch energy, of certain environment where for example, I went to a room where it was closed for a month. And when I left uneasy. It was not healthy for me to go to the room. I came out, I didn't realize how much it affected me, but probably it was in my mind some judgment about, how abandoned the place was, as people were not cleaning, the refrigerator smells bad. The lady downstairs said, no, we cannot clean it. Somebody else said, downstairs was like, fix the rag, opening, complaining about it. Somebody else was like, what's happening, going on with this lady? This woman is always telling us what to do, and they were upset. Anyway, I feel like I left from that place not feeling good at all, right? So what is this? Is because my mind, is because the energy, is because I was not aware in reality what I was speaking at the moment, because it took me a while to get better. I had to change clothes. I had to take another shower. I had to sleep a little bit, like half an hour. I didn't sleep, but I relaxed.
Yeah, it's we can't really see it in the physical form, but everything is energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is energy. And let's say there's a room where people are arguing, and then they leave the room. That argument energy is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say there's a bar, and there's an alcoholic, and the alcoholic dies. A lot of times that alcoholic spirit sticks in that bar and doesn't move on. And so there's a lot of energies all around us, all the time. Okay? And so what you want to do when you go before you go into any building or before you go into any situation, what I do and what Jesus used to do is he used to bless the building before going in. And so he would surround himself by blessing the building. He would surround himself in that love. And so that love becomes kind of like a code of protection. Okay. So you walk into the situation or room or interaction with your coat already. The Bible calls it the armor of God. And it's the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, the sword, which is the word of God, and the sandals, which are the gospel of peace. And so I think it's Ephesians 10 through 18, I think. It's the armor of God. You might want to look at that. I'm sure they have meditations in YouTube for that. And so you can go that far, but I'm just saying that, and those things are real. I've only experienced two of them. I've experienced the helmet of salvation and the breastplate of righteousness, because one night I was half asleep, I guess, and I felt this thing on my chest, and I was like, "What is this thing?" And then I like with my energetic arms, I kind of like lift it up and then it let it go and then it comes back on me. I'm like, what is that? What is that? And then I would feel something on my head. And I was like, okay, let me lift it up. And it was kind of like a crown. And then when I let it go, it came back on me. Okay. And then what always happens to me is like things happen to me and then I read them somewhere and they explain it to me. A lot of times I read them in the Bible and they explain it to me. And so they showed me that was the helmet of salvation and the breastplate of righteousness. And so there's so much we can't see. And so that thing is true. You can walk into a room, and if you aren't prepared to walk into the room, you can get things attached to you. Exactly like you can get a virus, catching a cold. You can catch a negative spirit.
Oh.
Let's say you walk into the room and you've been dealing with depression. Okay, what happens? The energy of depression is on you. Okay, you walk into a room. If there's a spirit in that room who's been into and loves depression because in his lifetime or her lifetime, that's what were going through the whole time. That spirit will get attached to you, and because he'll get attached to you because it knows that you also deal with depression. So when you deal with depression, that spirit gets fueled. And so same thing with anger. If you're really into anger, and an anger spirit is around somewhere in some house, it'll get attached to you, and it'll use you like a gas station. And so then it'll leave the house and it goes with you. And so there's a lot of energy always around. There's a lot of, unfortunately, it's part of the plan, I guess. There's a lot of spirits that didn't make the transition. There's a lot of good, beautiful things around you, and there's just a lot of sad things around you. But your job is simply to align with love, know that you're protected, and know that love is the greatest energy. Christ is the greatest word, Jesus. And so you can say a little prayer before you go into a room or a situation, and you can decide this room and situation is perfect for this room and situation. I'm here to be only love and compassion and kindness and forgiveness. And so if you are that, the negativity cannot touch you because the negativity doesn't want to be around you. Negative spirits don't want to be around love. Kind of like a chalkboard to them, that's screeching on the chalkboard. And so love wants to be around love. And so when you're going into a situation and you get stuck feeling those feelings, that's because something in there got stuck on you. And that's why you had to take a shower. That was a symbol of letting that go into the drain. That's why you had to change your clothes. Because you got stuck, the energy got stuck in the clothes, and you needed to take a shower. You needed to let that go. And you didn't even know why, but you said to yourself, I need to take a shower. I need to let it go.
I had my legs sweating. My body was sweating. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, it's happened to me a lot. It happens to me a lot.
I showered before I got there. I was like, my body clean, 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 completely. I was like, oof, easy target.
Yeah. And so just ask God or your guardian angels to protect you when you go into those situations. We all have guardian angels, so just ask them for your protection, and then go into those with your head held high, aligned with love, and only love.
Now, a total different experience when you go to a temple.
Yeah.
There is spirituality, devotion, candles, incense, and people go with gratitude there, with a humble heart to pray and ask for wellness, and forgiveness, and mercy and compassion. All that it's totally different experience. Some homes where really they welcome people and welcome good energy. It's a beautiful feeling. It's you are here, but then you feel elevated.
Yeah, same thing if you go to a church. When you go to church, when I go to church, I feel like amazing afterwards. And it's just all the beautiful energy that's usually in those churches. And whatever the how the mass is being said, and all the symbolism, and what that symbolism truly means in the spiritual realm. It's, I mean, there's a lot of things happening in those kind of situations. Good things, lovely things. Usually, I would say. Uh, any
Being in
other?
this meeting feels good, James.
I'm sorry. What?
Being in this meeting, it feels so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, bless. I'm grateful.
yeah. You just got to put on that coat of love when you go into any situation, and then you'll be protected.
How you just explained the protection, the armor of God is making me very emotional. It is the most important thing I have heard and realized in ever so long, and I can hardly express my deep gratitude.
Beautiful. Yeah. There's this meditation on YouTube that this I'll try to look for it as we talk. It's called The Armor of God, and there's this lady who's just she's another level. The armor of God. Okay. And there's a beautiful meditation. If I don't find it today, I'll bring it next week. And yeah, I don't see it right now, but yeah, there's a meditation. It's about an hour long, and she goes through the armor of God, and then you visualize the armor of God on you. You know, she goes through the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, the sword, which is the word of God, and the sandals, which are the gospel of peace. And then you put that on, and it's a beautiful meditation, and she's unbelievable. She's like next level good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so Ephesians.
next week I'll bring you the exact thing. Any other comments or questions?
I'm sorry.
It almost feels like this is something so simple. I could have processed this 10 years ago and not have to gone through my life the way I did. But it's like, wow, this is so cool, so simple, and so easy to do. Like, where was all this time?
Well, the thing is that you come into this world to experience certain to have certain experiences. You're the light of the world, right? You're God's light, and you chose to come into a certain area of darkness to experience it, right? So that you can learn how to overcome it, and then you can become a teacher to others. And so just imagine like an alcoholic, okay? An alcoholic becomes an alcoholic. He goes through a very, very difficult time, usually, very dark time. God willing, he finds bottom, and then he lifts himself out of it through God's grace, and now he becomes a sponsor to another alcoholic, right? And that person who's an alcoholic has a sponsor who's obviously there are always alcoholics. I mean, as we all know, once an addict, always an addict. But this person who has been through the darkness has the stories and life experience to help guide this other brother or sister who's in the darkness. And this brother and sister who's in the darkness is going to listen to this person here, because this person here went through what this person is going through. And so everything that this person went through, all the challenges and difficult times and darkness, and that he or she overcame, now becomes tools that he or she uses to help others heal. others who are going through what they went through. And these people are not going to listen to somebody who's never been an alcoholic usually, you know, but they will listen to somebody who's been an alcoholic and has been clean, you know. And so the life experience that the ego once had you judge yourself so harshly for, and had you condemn yourself as not spiritual enough or not good enough or not whatever enough, it's these life experiences that helped you become this great teacher. And so don't condemn yourself for all that self-judgment that you've gone through, because all this you will overcome, all the darkness you will overcome, and then you'll be a torch of light for others. And it was only because you went through the darkness that you became a teacher of light. And so when you realize that this here made you this, then now you become grateful to this experience. And now you start to see how every moment of your life was a gift from God to you and from you to this world. And so there's no need to judge yourself when you're in the darkness, when you're stuck in the past through judgment, when you're worried about the future. All this are these lessons God will have you learn. You'll let go of this, and you come back to the now. You'll use your lessons to teach others how to return to the light inside of them. And so there's never a situation that you should feel guilt or shame for. Yes, you can ask, you can forgive yourself, you can repent, you can say sorry to your brothers or sisters that you affected. Yes, when you're an alcoholic or you're an addict, that's one of the things that you do. You say sorry to everybody you affected. But now, after having overcome it, now you have the tools to help others heal. And you only have the tools to help others heal because of all the stuff that you went through. And so don't judge yourself if for 10 years you experience a judgmental mindset towards self or others. Because now, as you're overcoming this judgmental mindset, now you can show others that through compassion, through supportive thoughts, you can let go of your self-judgments. And then when you talk, these people here who are stuck in self-judgment, they're going to listen to you because they're going to say in their hearts and mind, oh my God, this guy knows what I'm going through. This person knows what I'm going through. And this person overcame that. So I'm going to listen to that person because I want to be where he or she is at. And so don't punish yourself for your life experience because it's all going to be used by God for good and by you for good. And so it's all good, man.
With that, James, are you saying that the sponsor that is here has stopped judging himself or herself, and stopping judging himself herself, stops judging others, right? So it's lifting up someone that is still, as you said, in the dark cloud, doing self-judgment, doing judgment around. So that's one of the reasons as well. They grow the moment you stop judging yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to judge ourselves because that's kind of like the ego's response is always the thing is that we judge ourselves. Okay, let's say back in 5 years ago, we judged ourselves, and then we kept that judgment for a week or a month or a year, you know. But little by little, we start to see how useless holding on to that stuff is. So little by little, we reduce the time we spend in judgments. So we go from years to months to weeks to days to minutes to moments, and then we let it go. And so, but it's all, you know, a work in progress. It all works together for good. And so you only experience this much judgment now because back in the past you experienced this much and you got tired of that. And so now you spend less time in judgment. And little by little, you'll start to see, you know what? When I'm stuck in judgment, I'm not fulfilling my purpose as the light of the world. And so let me forgive myself quicker and quicker. And then little by little, you spend less and less time in judgment of self and others, and more time in compassion and understanding. And then little by little, you let the delusion go. And all that remains is your compassion and your ability to forgive yourself and others and your light and love. And so don't judge yourself for being judgmental. Just practice catching yourself when you're being judgmental, and practice reminding yourself that you do not belong in that state of mind. You're not meant to be stuck in the past. You're meant to be aligned with the now and be offering love in the now. Any other comments or questions?
So sometimes I have a flash of memory where I was extremely judgmental, and I very have the feelings of guilt and wanting to accept that that's how I was and am not now. But I wonder if by going through that, I am making some repentance, or, if there's a purpose that I'm being reminded of how bigger my ego used to be, or is this just my smaller ego still holding me?
So I'm not sure what the question is.
Well, when those times come that I'm reminded of my judgment in the past and how big it was compared to now, is that like a moment of repentance to admit that I harmed, or even if the person isn't here? I mean, is there a purpose to that memory besides living in the past?
Yeah, there's a purpose to every thought you have. Okay, so if a memory of a past judgment comes to mind, it's there for you to practice forgiving yourself for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's there for you to practice forgiving those who are part of that process or experience. And so there's maybe somebody in that past moment where you were judgmental or whatever. Maybe they might not be in your physical presence, but maybe in their hearts they're asking for forgiveness from you. And so somehow,
or I from them.
yeah, or you from them. And so maybe something inside of you is ready to heal. And so that emotion comes into your mind as a thought. Okay, now I'm ready to heal this past situation, or I still need to heal this past situation. So it's something that you are carrying inside your energetic field, which when you're ready to deal with it, becomes a thought within your mind. And then you think that thought and you go, okay, I need to forgive myself for what I did in the past. And okay, I'm ready to do that now. And obviously you're ready to do that now because it came into your mind now. If you were not ready to forgive yourself, then that thought would have not come into your mind. It would have stayed there, stuck there. And so when you have thoughts that are judgmental in nature of self or whatever happened in the past, pat yourself on the shoulder, because that's showing you that you have the courage now and you have the mental ability and spiritual ability right now to deal with it. A couple days ago you didn't, or a couple months ago you didn't, and that's why it never came up to your mind, because God never offers you a challenge that you can't overcome. And so when you're ready to heal something that's stuck in your energetic field, it'll come to your mind. It'll come up to your mind. You'll have a thought of it, and you'll have the opportunity to forgive yourself and thus release it and let it go. And now you're lighter. Now you have less blocks between you and your true nature, which is love. And it only came from here to here because you were ready. And so don't punish yourself because some self-judgmental thought came into your mind. And now you're thinking, oh, this came into my mind. I'm not spiritual enough. Why am I thinking these thoughts? That's the ego thinking. It's saying, no, I'm not spiritual enough. That's why I'm thinking this. No. That's not what's really happening. What's really happening is that God is allowing that energy to come into your self-awareness because God knows that you're ready to heal it. And so pat yourself on the back that you're having these thoughts because you're ready to heal them. And so it's good. It's good that that happened. Every thought is a gift from God to you, no matter how dark the ego says that it is. It just, I'm ready to deal with this thought, this situation. And that's why it came into my mind. That's why God allowed it into my mind. Because God is not going to allow something that you can't overcome or work through. And so don't punish yourself for those kind of things. That's what the ego wants. The ego wants you to put yourself down. Okay, I found it. It's called the video is called "Putting on the Full Armor of God," guided meditation experience. And the lady is website is the YouTube site is House of Beloved, and it's roughly an hour meditation. And she's amazing. She's she's next level. And I trust me, I've done this meditation at least 300 times.
Wait, what is it called again?
It's called Putting on the Full Armor of God.
Putting on the full armor of God. Okay,
Yeah,
I found another one.
and it's a literal interpretation of Ephesians 10 through 18 in the Bible.
Ephesians 6 and then 10 to 18.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Chapter 6.
6 through 18. Yeah,
It's on YouTube.
yeah,
Yes.
it's on YouTube. Yeah, and her YouTube channel again is House of the Beloved. House of Beloved, Beloved. Yeah, and that stuff is real. There's so much stuff in the Bible that's so much realer than people know. It's incredible. And the thing is that for me, in my life experience, I always experience something and then I'm taught about it, like in books or whatever. And so, I experience things and I don't know what is this? And then like a month or two later, I read it somewhere, And so that's how I learned about the Ephesians 6, 10 through 18. Anybody else stuck in the future or past that needs away to the present moment?
I'm on YouTube. I'm just trying to find it. Is it who's the author or the host of that meditation again?
If you put on the YouTube, maybe Jennifer, you could tell us how to do this, but easier. It's you just have to go to the House of Beloved. That's her YouTube channel. You put in the search bar House of Beloved, and then in there she's got the video. Or you can just go ahead and put the video, the title of the video, and then putting on the full armor of God, a Christian guided meditation. Yeah, and it's a beautiful meditation to go to sleep to. Or sometimes when I wake up, just chat here. Sometimes when I wake up at night, I just like to just go to my couch and put on a meditation, and yeah, it's a beautiful experience. So if God wakes you up in the middle of the night, just go to your chair somewhere and just put on a YouTube meditation and enjoy it, and then go back to sleep. Okay. Any other comments or questions? All righty. Well, if no other comments or questions, then I guess we can go ahead.
Mine to ask the question.
I'm sorry?
Mine to ask the question in the chat.
Oh. Okay, what is the meaning of Ephesians 6, 10 through 18, the armor of God? Is our spiritual defense. It's our spiritual defense against attacks by Satan. Unfortunately, we don't have to leave home every morning wearing the full suit of armor to be protected. Yeah, it's just it's something lovely to. It's a beautiful meditation. Yeah.
No, I just Googled that. I did not come up with that. I Googled it and I just posted it there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a beautiful meditation. Obviously, you don't have to do it every day and put it on every day. It's just something that's pretty powerful, I would say.
Oh, so the link worked.
Okay. Yeah, she's a gift to us. Yeah, and so what we want to do this week is just practice coming back to the now. Coming back to the now. When you judge yourself or others, that's your past programming. Forgive, and you come back to the now. When you're worried, anxious, fearful, doubtful, that means you're stuck in the future. Use those moments to trust God more. Let's say you're anxious or worried. Okay. If you're anxious or worried, the ego wants you to get stuck in that, right? And it wants you to make that a bigger and bigger part of your day and experience, right? You want to do the opposite. Instead of getting stuck in that anxiousness and fear, you want to say, okay, this is a perfect opportunity for me to practice trusting God more. And guess what? The more you practice trusting God, the divine design, the less fear and anxiousness you will have. Trust God more, be less anxious. Trust God more, be less anxious. And then you start to realize that, you know what, in every moment and situation, if I trust in God, I have peace. And I don't have to carry that anxiety and that worry and that fear and doubt. I have a choice. I have free will. I can choose peace instead of this. I can choose to trust God instead of my anxiousness and fears and doubts and worries.
This is a whole topic, James, about trusting. I would like if we could dig deeper in this topic about trusting, because it comes a lot with trusting ourselves, trusting our choices. Particularly, when people have gone through a lot, either with experiences in the past, either with childhood, either with trauma or something, you know, this issue of trust goes a lot in relationships, and sometimes it's a roadblock to do things because of the trust, because of the control, because of it could be some if another time maybe we could talk about it.
Yeah. Just remember, you and God have co-designed the journey you're now on. When you remember that, when you trust that, you will always have peace. You will always have peace of mind. And that's where you belong. You belong at peace. Okay? And so whenever you're experiencing some sort of doubt or shame or guilt about your experience, you're not trusting in the divine design. And so you can have peace or you can lack peace. It's called free will. And so practice whenever you're feeling doubtful about something. Just say, God, I'm feeling doubtful about this situation. Please tell me what to think, say, and do. And then let me think, say, and do only that. When you have doubt, okay, you step back. Invite God in and say, God, what would you have me think, say, and do right now? And then only think, say, and do what God would have you think, say, and do. And so you, the little you, don't even have to be in the situation. You just have to allow God to pave the way and follow Him, follow Source. Thank you, Maite. And so, yeah, practice remembering that, there's somebody who's got your back. and that someone is the creator of the universe. So you're gonna be okay, and everything's gonna be okay, and all is gonna be good. And practice trusting yourself about that. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. You're doing okay. We're all doing fine.
Oh, wow.
You know, just like I say, there's no judgment in God, because God God does not forgive because He does not condemn. And so practice that. Practice not even having to forgive, because you don't even condemn yourself or others. Trust in your journey. Your journey is perfect, no matter what the ego says. And remember, the ego never delivers to you the state of peace. The ego never delivers to you a joyful state. The ego never delivers to you a state of balance and assuredness, uncertainty, or grace or mercy. The ego never does that for you. God does. And just trust Him, and all is great. All is beautiful. Okay, any final comments or questions before we close tonight?
Great
I'm
class.
really enjoying
Great.
getting to have this sacred space with everybody every week. It's really been very uplifting and a nice peaceful space of my week. I'm really grateful to everyone for being part of it. Thank you. And thank you, James. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, James.
Like
Thank
medicine for
you,
my soul.
everybody.
Thank
Thank
you, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy, Mike, Mary,
Thank
Samir,
you.
Jess, Isabel, and Maite. And
Should
God.
I just say, if anyone's not
God.
subscribed to the daily inspiration emails, I put the link in. They're amazing, wonderful, inspiring emails
Oh,
that you
yes,
can
sure.
get daily or weekly. And that's what we are discussing each week on. So the link is in the chat.
Okay. All right. I can, yes, thank you. Let me copy that.
And in the daily inspirations, I have the condensed version, which is 2 paragraphs, which is nice and easy. Then I have a long version of them, and then I have a video version of them. So if you're not into reading, the videos work too. And yeah, I still need to do a few more before I'm complete with all of them. But okay, all right.
Good
Let me
night.
go ahead and stop this recording.